show as a community.
Support the Asian community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco. An Odyssey station.
Good morning, area.
It's time to wake up. It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game. Come on!
Wow. What a win. What a comeback. And maybe, just maybe, the magic is back at Oracle Park as your San Francisco Giants walk off 7-4 over the San Diego Padres. Mike Yastrzemski. My God. Here's a guy. Yeah, I'm doing my Chris Collinsworth. Now, here's a guy who came on so hot for this San Francisco Giants team. He's got an MVP consideration. It was the quote-unquote bubble year, if you will, COVID year. Still consideration nonetheless. He had the great story, him and his grandfather homering in Fenway. You remember Bruce Bochy being there. It was a really cool moment. Since then, though, kind of underwhelming. Started off so hot in his career, but lack of discipline at the plate, a lot of strikeouts, injuries. He just hasn't been able to get back to where he was at the start of his major league career. Now, he's having a great year. I mean, great for his standards at this point. 257, 321 on base. Okay, slugging 487, though. Mike Yastrzemski had himself a moment yesterday. And right now, the San Francisco Giants as a team are having a collective moment in sports. They just can't seem to lose. And 888-957-9570. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the Pregame Show, Joe Spadoni. We are up and live on Twitch, on YouTube. Good morning, everyone chiming in. Be sure to like and subscribe. Search 95.7 The Game in either search bar on Twitch or YouTube. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. And also be sure to download that Odyssey app. Favorite 95.7 The Game for all of your Warriors coverage. We'll get into some Warriors. I promise. Whenever you have a new GM announced and have their introductory presser, we will react to it because things were said. You have to read between the lines. Draymond Green opts out of his contract. He is officially a free agent, unrestricted. Where will he go? Will he come back? Will he stay or will he go? 888-957-9570. We'll get into that. But we start today with baseball, coming off two sweeps of perennial powerhouses in the National League. The Cardinals, the Dodgers, coming into this 7 wins in a row, salvaging that Cubs series. And now you're going up against the Darlings, right? The funnest team in baseball. They got a legitimate manager now. They were just in the NLCS. They added Bogarts. They got Soto. They got Machado. They re-upped him. They got Tatis back off suspension. They got Musgrove. They got Darvish. They got Snell. Hell, they had Michael Wacha yesterday. Turning back the clock. Waka Waka. So everything was going right in the offseason for the San Diego Padres. But as we know in sports, it's not who wins the offseason. Hell, it rarely is. You think about teams that win the offseason in sports, they're usually in a position they have to spend a lot because they failed at the draft. That's usually what that means. Now, baseball's a little different, but generally speaking, in most sports, you want to build through the draft, build up your own talent, and you would like to keep those guys in your system for a long time. That's what made the Giants so successful the last decade plus. Prior to Farhan, you had Posey, you had Crawford, right? You had Belt, you had Bumgarner, you had Kane, you had Lincecum. I can keep going on and on and on. Homegrown talent. And it just feels different as a fan when it's your own homegrown talent. Hell, I think that's why it was so hard for a lot of A's fans last 20 years. Yeah, I'm going to mention them. Because you see all that homegrown talent and then you see it flourish elsewhere. It flourishes here for a little bit, but then you see it flourish elsewhere, and it's a kick in the nuts. Because you keep getting your hopes up that you'll re-sign your own talent, because that's what the hope always is. And now we're seeing on the Giants side, this young talent producing. Matos. You saw last night. Bailey. Clutch. You're seeing the strength in numbers. And yes, I'm allowing the San Francisco Giants to adopt the Golden State Warriors mantra. It's the Bay Area. We're allowed to. Come on, we're progressive. You can share. It's strength in numbers right now for the San Francisco Giants. And it's starting to feel a little bit like the 2021 season, where you cannot count this team out on any given night. And that's one of the more higher compliments I think you can give a team in this league, is that you have to keep them on until the final out is out. Especially in this own division. This division is nuts right now. Again, I already mentioned the sweep of the Dodgers. You took the first out of 4 against the San Diego Padres. We'll see what happens moving forward, but what a way to start off this series. And let's be honest, the Giants have been struggling at home. They have not been a great home team this year. 19-17 now, but just a couple of games over 500 for a team that's now 8 games over 500 at 40-32. Hasn't been the best, but you know what? I noticed it early, and you felt the energy throughout. Place was packed on a Monday night. I get it. Padres, they got studs everywhere. They're going to draw on the road. Absolutely. Which is kind of wild because I felt like all the games back in the day I used to go to with my dad, big Giants fan. I take him to Padres games because they were inexpensive. Padres stunk for most of my life. Now, everyone wants to see them because of the guys I mentioned, the Tatises, the Sotos, the Machados, the Bogarts, the Cronenworths. Hell, Trent Grisham. But last night, it kind of showed you why maybe you want to build through your own draft system, right? And now it's early. I'm not saying don't go get the Sotos if they come around. Don't go after the Machados. Don't go after the Eric Hosmers early on. That was one of the bigger contracts they signed when the Padres started to turn into the Yankees of the West, if you will, when it comes to spending. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm saying building through the draft is the most sustainable model for the long haul in sports. Doesn't mean you can't go big game fishing, because we saw this past offseason, when you have money to spend and you promise fans that you're going to spend and get some big name people and you don't follow through on it, fans get angry. They get upset. Rightfully so. They were promised something and you didn't deliver on it. But the next best thing is getting those young guys up and running through the system. Show us the future, at least, if you're not going to get the Judges and Correas. And credit to Farhan Zaidi and this front office of the San Francisco Giants, because we're seeing it this year. We're seeing it pay off. We're seeing shades of 2021. And maybe, just maybe, this team is starting to build something special for the long haul. 888-957-9570 is the number. Giants win 7-4. I want to hear your thoughts, Giants fans. Walk-off victory. Is the magic back at Oracle? And who do you trust more moving forward? And maybe trust isn't the right word, but who are you banking on moving forward? The Giants or the Padres? And you might say Spadoni. You see that lineup yesterday? The San Diego? I did. I also saw one big fat L. I've seen the pitching from San Diego all year. Not very good. I think they're locked into a lot of contracts. A lot of high paying, a lot of year contracts. They're going to be very difficult to move off in a few years from now. And hell, they may have to move off of them after this year if they don't make the playoffs. Changes will come there. I promise you that. The team's 35 and 37. I get it. It's early. It's June 20th. But what I saw last night and what I've seen so far this season, comparing these two squads, I think I might be banking on the Giants' future more. And am I crazy to say that at 888-957-9570? That I'm trusting Farhan now? And I'm not saying, listen, we were talking about it yesterday on the crossover. This team, these players, they could turn back into pumpkins. They can come back to earth a little bit. Hell, Casey Schmidt now is batting .264. Just a few weeks ago, it felt like he was batting .400. Things happen. Players make adjustments. The other guys get paid too. Yes. But I'm starting to see a sustainable model for the Giants that I hadn't seen under Farhan Zaidi so far. We saw it for the year, the one season. And we kept thinking, well, that was a one-off. Thank you, Sam Lubman, for my phone. Shout out Sam Lubman, Garlic Fries and Baseball Guys. New pod, Sam? Tomorrow? Today. New pod. Walk-off winner. Joe Shasky, Sam Lubman. They're locked in. Download, stream, whatever you got to do. Garlic Fries and Baseball Guys on the Odyssey app. Download that bad boy. Favorite 95.7 The Game for all of that content. YouTube as well. Subscribe, like, and follow Sam Lubman on Twitter at samlubman.com. We'll figure it out. At Sam Lubman. Just search Sam Lubman. He'll pop up there. I think he's in his football jersey, if I'm not mistaken. He's crushing it. I actually credit Sam Lubman for the Giants' success this year. He's part of it. You know, when Sam goes into that clubhouse, he demands excellence from those players, just like they demand excellence from him. So shout out Sam Lubman for doing a hell of a job covering the team all year. Not just Warriors games, but from start to finish the San Francisco Giants season. Because he could have, just taken some nights off. It was Warriors season, it was playoffs. No. Sam was locked in to Giants regular season. Shout out Sammy. 888-957-9570. I guess we should play some of these highlights because, my God, Dwayne Kuiper, happy birthday. It was his birthday yesterday, right? They did, yeah, because he left a few innings and they were talking about the birthday. So happy birthday to him. And what a night he had. I want this guy to call my life. That's how good he is. Can he narrate my life? Let's start off with VR. Getting these guys on the board in the bottom of the fifth.
A relative of both. VR launches one to deep left. Gone up over the wall. That's the David VR swing right there. His fifth home run of the year. It's 4-1.
Dave Fleming on the call there for NBC Sports Bay Area. As I just mentioned, Dwayne left for a few innings for a little birthday snack. Good for him. He deserves it. And shout out David VR.
He nutted that thing.
Certainly did. 4-1 now, heading to the bottom of the sixth. All right. Michael Wacha's doing his thing, but we're inching closer. You just got to hang around. That's the thing with this Giants team that scares me if I'm an opposing team. It feels like if you let the Giants hang around, and that was a main theme for 2021 and that 100-plus win season, you let the Giants hang around, more often than not, they're going to make you pay for it. They're going to bite you in the ass. And that's what they did to the San Diego Padres last night. Here's Mike Yastrzemski's first home run, bottom six, 4-1 now. Take it away, Flem.
Yastrzemski to deep right field. That one is gone up onto the arcade. Second home run for the Giants. It's 4-2.
And coming up, bottom nine, one out, runners on first and third. You got the kid, the young catcher, The guy who just doesn't seem to be fazed by anything. The guy who we promised was going to be an elite defensive backstop for this team. No one talked about his offense.
Line drive. Yes, has got to go back and tag. He does. Here's the throw. It's on line, and it's not in time. This game is tied.
Patrick Bailey, sack fly to left. Giants tie it up. They're all knotted up. 4-4, bottom 9. They get the big strikeout over Jock, so it heads to extras. Toval, he's just doing his thing, man. He gets credited with the win. He is unreal. He is a lock for the All-Star game. Book it. He'll be the guy coming in if the National League have a chance to close it out. Hell, keep it tied, keep it close, whatever. The National League never wins, by the way. American League owns them when it comes to the All-Star game. We'll save that for another day. Easiest lock every year is betting on the American League roster there. But last but not least, bottom 10. You're going to hear the call probably a million times today on the station at 888-957-9570 as well. Mike Yastrzemski, take it away.
High drive. Right field. It is out of here. And we are going home.
They are going home. Again, Dwayne Kuiper, guy can narrate my life if he wants to. Probably wouldn't. Wouldn't be very exciting. A lot of going to the park. A lot of diaper changing. High drive. Left field. It is changed. Nah, it doesn't. No. It is messy. Yes, it is. God. Some of those things after the solid foods. Won't get into that at 5:16 a.m. here on the pregame show. Joe Spadoni. It's rough for those parents out there with those toddlers. Whew, let me just tell you. 888-957-9570. Good morning to all of you on Twitch and YouTube. Red Dead Stoner. Good morning, Nicole, Pandy Zandy, Joseph, Kine. I can't pronounce that last name, but thank you. Luis Robertson, Dublin Marge, Brandon, Schmidt with such a clutch walk and discipline late in the game. And that's the term. Discipline. That's something Mike Yastrzemski, I think, if we watched him the last few seasons, what did he lack? Discipline at the plate. I think that's the word. What I saw last night in his at-bats was discipline. Not reaching, waiting for his pitch to come to him. And the way he pimped that home run, I'm going to say it. This guy's a god around here. I get it. But it was Barry Bonds-esque, the way that lefty cranked on that fastball in the inner third of the plate and just said, night-night. It was Bonds-esque. It was a splash shot, which Bonds did damn near every time anyways. But I was impressed. And here's Yaz. That's what his friends call him. After the game on NBC Sports Bay Area, talking with George Contos about his approach.
What was your approach there in that last inning with the Padres relievers falling behind and walking guys?
Just being patient, looking for your pitch, not trying to do too much. You get a chance to take a shot right there, 3-1, hoping to get a pitch, and saw it well. So it's kind of how it worked.
Kinda how it worked. Again, plate discipline. It's a major, major factor for this team's success this season. Getting on base. It's the Moneyball way, the Farhan way. Don't care how much you're getting paid. You just need to get on base and produce. And right now, that's what the Giants are doing to the tune of 8 freaking wins in a row. Is this team ever going to lose again? At 888-957-9570? It's not looking like it. Is the Magic back at Oracle Park? 888-957-9570 is the number. We'll continue to take your calls and texts as it pertains to the San Francisco Giants. Download that Odyssey app, favorite 95.7 The Game, and also Twitch and YouTube. Hit me up there. Good morning, Deadhead Fred, 510. I appreciate Deadhead Fred on the Comcast Business text line because you know what? That's all he says. He just says good morning. He doesn't have a take. He doesn't need one. He's just being very pleasant and friendly. And I appreciate that here at 5:19 a.m. on the pregame show with Joe Spadoni. Good morning to all of you getting off work, getting ready for work, getting ready for school, getting ready for summer. Where are you guys going vacationing this year? Is it officially summer yet? When's the first day? First official day of summer.
Tomorrow.
There we go. I knew it, Sammy. Tomorrow. And isn't it fitting that right when the Giants are in their hottest streak of the year, playing their best baseball, it's right when summer's officially going to start. Baseball season is officially upon us. It's summertime, baby. The living's easy. Come on. Shout out Sublime. I know Bonte doesn't care for him, but I sure as hell do. Sublime, one of those all-time summer bands. Oh, man. Brings me back to high school. Good memories. 888-957-9570. From the YouTube chat, Brandon saying, I'm vacationing to Oracle Park this summer. Let's go. Appreciate that. Morali, Thailand for summer vacation. Let's go, Bangkok. Get a Mai Tai. Morali. Heard Thailand's beautiful. I love Thai food. So it's easy enough for me right there. He sold me. So many different flavors and combinations in Thai food, by the way. That makes it so unique. I'm out on the peanut aspect of it. I don't like a lot of peanuts with a lot of my stuff. Not allergic or anything like that. Just when I'm having my nice like pad thai and stuff like that, I know they sprinkle a bunch of the peanut. Miss me with that. But the sweet, the sour, the spicy aspect, the cilantro, all of that, the chilies, chef's kiss. Love me some Thai food. And when you find a good Thai restaurant, feels like you're eating there at least once a week, right? Sammy was telling me he moved over to Oakland. He's got a good Thai spot near him. I feel that. I'm the same way with Mexican food. If I can get a Mexican food spot, it's easily a burrito a week.
The last house I lived in, I had like 4 or 5 different burrito dispensaries within like a minute drive of me. And it was like, this is too much, but also this is just not enough either.
What's your go-to, Sammy? What's the burrito?
There was, the best place over there was like Pacheco's Taqueria or something like that. It's a little like drive-through place on the corner.
Okay.
Oh man, that place had you order like the super burrito. It's one of the few burritos that was like a true super burrito.
Oh,
like
it's girthy?
This thing was bigger than my arm.
Okay.
And you bet your boy took it down in one sitting, but worth every minute of it. But oh man, this was a big burrito.
So my staple every single time, I go carne asada if it's available. If not, chicken. One of those two. Maybe carnitas here and there, but mainly it's the carne asada or chicken. Then you got to always go super if that's it. You got to get the sour cream. You got to get the guacamole. Got to get the beans. Got to get the rice. Usually a black bean guy. If they don't have it, pinto or refried is fine. Give me the white rice. And then give me the salsa fresca in there. If there's salsa verde available, I will also take that. If there is some sort of corn combination, shout out Chipotle where you can get that, I will do that as well. Give me every single thing
Remember when Taco Bell had the verde salsas?
Oh, it's the best. Oh, we talked about this. And they took it away from us, Sammy.
I know. There was, for the longest time, whenever I go to Taco Bell, I'd ask for the verde salsa, knowing they didn't have it, just because I wanted to make the point clear, you guys need to bring this back. It didn't work, but it was a small act of defiance on my end.
Well, you see what they're doing right now, Taco Bell, and shout out Taco Bell as we talk about food here on the pregame show at 5:23. We'll get back into the Giants, don't worry. But if we're talking food, Taco Bell, they brought back this like chili verde, like I don't know, burrito and like fries and stuff. I was like, so you have the hot sauce. Why not just leave it in the packets? You're killing me. Do I have to order this on the side? I hate it. I'm with you, Sammy. Bring back the salsa verde. 888-957-9570. What food items and your favorite fast food joints have they taken away from you that you want to see back? Let me know on the text line. Let me know. Call in or hit me up on the YouTube chat. Fast food items from years past. 888-957-9570. Red Dead Stone is like, man, burritos, y'all making me hungry. It is early. Ooh, crispy carnitas. Delicious. Salsa verde. Okay, Brand.
Here's a fun question. Regular burritos or breakfast burritos?
Boy. The thing is, I feel like I could smash a regular burrito like right now. If I just had like a carne asada burrito right now, I would smash it. I feel like I have to be in the mood for eggs. That's me specifically. Eggs I associate with breakfast. Not saying I wouldn't smash it at midnight, a chorizo and egg burrito, Sammy. Not saying that, because I have to, your boy, I'd smash 2 of those things. But I would go just a regular burrito if we're doing that. Although it is special because I feel like I have a breakfast burrito maybe about once or twice a month. A lot of Mexican food for you, boy. A lot of Italian. My last name's Spadoni. A lot of pasta. I had some baked chicken pasta with garlic, cherry tomatoes, and a nice, what was the pasta I used yesterday? Fusilli, I think is what it was. With a creamy tomato sauce on the side as well. A lot of tomatoes for you, boy. Love me some tomatoes. 888-957-9570 is the number. Real quick, before we go to break here, let's go to Nick in Berkeley. He wants to bring back a certain fast food item. Nick, you're on 95.7 The Game. What's up, man?
Man, the deep fried apple pie at McDonald's that would scald your mouth. Oh. Man, that thing is butter, man. I'm telling you, you could eat those all day long.
Oh, yes, sir. Hey, Nick, great call there. Oh, my. Absolutely. No qualms about that. The McDonald's breakfast selection is still all-time to me as far as fast food goes. The problem is, and it's turned into a meme at this point, their ice cream machines, it's never working, man. It's never working. The McFlurry, all-time. They used to have more flavors, I feel like, when I was a kid. You used to be able to get the Heath Bar, the Butterfinger, but now it feels like it's only like Oreo. You used to be able to get M&M. Can you still get M&Ms? Feels like it's only Oreo at this point for the McFlurry. Let me know, 888-957-9570. Talking fast food. We're talking Giants walk-off victories. We're doing it all here on the pregame show. On the other side, we'll continue to take your calls and texts. What fast food items from years past do you want to see returned? Also, your thoughts on the Giants winning 8 freaking wins in a row. Yaz is hot. The Giants are hot. Hell, Bay Area's hot. We got Mike Dunleavy Jr. getting announced. We got Joe Lacob speaking. We got Draymond Green becoming an unrestricted free agent. Don't go anywhere, folks. Where else would you want to be at 5:27 a.m.? Then the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, let's go.
Ever since we got Xfinity Mobile, the whole family now has the fastest mobile service. My little brother has no idea how lucky he is. Back in my day, we didn't have it nearly as good.
Now, back to the pregame show on 95.7 The Game.
Green onions. Speaking of green, salsa verde is still in my mind. Pre-game show, Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. Thanks for stopping by. Talking Giants walk-off victory, talking fast food items that have been removed from the menu that you want to see come back. 888-957-9570. Comcast Business Text Line getting a lot of them. Good morning to Twitch and YouTube. We are up and streaming live on there. Go ahead and search 95.7 The Game, like, subscribe, all that jazz. Also, download that Odyssey app, favorite 95.7 The Game, where you can find this show, Morning Roast, Steiny Goo, Willer Dibs, Garlic Fries, and Baseball Guys. You heard from Sam Lubman earlier. One of the hosts, along with Joe Shasky. There it is. You heard that voice. Joe Shasky will be joining me next segment for the crossover, as he does each and every day, Monday through Friday at 5:45. He's fired up. And why shouldn't he be? 8 straight wins, 8 games over 500. This team, I'm just saying, it has the 2021 feel to it, where you cannot count them out. And shout out to Sarah Lang's, S-Lang's, S-Lang Sports on Sports. Apologies, Sarah, getting that Twitter name right. At S-Langs on Sports on Twitter. Sarah Lang's does a hell of a job with all the stats, all the info. Keep up the good fight, Sarah, against ALS. We are all pulling for you. And this is what she tweeted last night. This was the Giants' 6th comeback win when trailing by 3+ runs this season, surpassing their total from 2022. It's June 20th. 2 months into the year. They've already surpassed their total of comebacks while trailing 3+ runs 6 times this year. And if that doesn't go to show you that you can't count this team out, then I don't know what will. You can't count this team out. They got belief. They got depth. They got discipline. They got a manager that's pulling all the right strings. Remember Kapler in 2021? It felt like he could do no wrong. Well, right now, it's kind of got that same feel. And maybe last year was the aberration, not 2021. Maybe it was just injuries. Hell, they were a 500 team. It wasn't like they were awful. It wasn't like they were good. They were average. So maybe it was last season that was the aberration. Maybe 888-957-9570 is the number. Draymond Green. We'll continue to take your calls and texts on the Giants. But I got to get my thoughts off just for a few minutes. The Draymond Green saga and what was said at Mike Dunleavy Jr.'s presser yesterday as it pertains to Draymond. He had Joe Lacob, the owner, sitting next to him. Joe Lacob's a very interesting cat. I'll just say that. Just watching the body language, watching him speak to the media. Very, very interesting guy, to say the least. But here was some of the sound bites from yesterday as Draymond Green and his client, Rich Paul, Clutch Sports, announced that he is an unrestricted free agent, declining his opt-in. And it was timing for sure, allowing that to go right before the presser so that the owner and the new general manager, Mike Dunleavy Jr., will have to discuss it. And they did. And here's what Dunleavy Jr. said about wanting Draymond Green back on the team next season.
I saw the report too. Until we get the paperwork and the filing, we can't really comment or say much. So I will say, I think Steve has said it, and I'll reiterate, we really want Draymond back. What he means to this organization, this team, in terms of trying to win at the highest level, we feel like we have to have him. So that's very important. Beyond that, yeah, I mean, I think a lot can be made of all the challenges that are coming our way, whether it be aging roster, the new CBA with some of the limitations there, anything else you can bring up. But we're aware of all those things, but we also feel like we're in a great place because we've got a competitive owner willing to spend and a group that's really tied in. It's got good synergy, good processes, good sound decision making. So we feel confident we can navigate it.
I came away very impressed, actually, pleasantly surprised as well with how well Mike Dunleavy Jr. spoke to the media. His body language was very relaxed. He was calm. He was concise. He was astute. He was everything. I was very impressed. I don't know what my preconceived notions were going into it. I just thought about this Surly guy. I've only seen him doing interviews with, Steiny Goo. Like, you just hear him talk on the phone. And you can't gauge much from that. You can gauge a little bit. I kind of thought he was a little more surly, a little more rough around the edges, a little more short. But yesterday, I came away, better than I felt prior to it about his chances. Maybe I'm looking too much into that, but I can only go off of what he said. And listen, the guy sounded confident. And that, as a fan, that would give me confidence in his ability to make hard decisions this summer going forward. I think he has a strong pulse on the group of this team. Now, the proof is in the pudding as it pertains to the egos on this team. How's he going to handle that when the contract negotiations start? Who's going to blink first? All that remains to be seen. But just going off yesterday and him speaking to the media, I came away impressed. The other thing I came away with is Joe Lacob is a very interesting guy just to watch if you're watching visually or if you're just listening. But the way he speaks to people, it's just, I don't think billionaires will ever be normal either, the way they speak. They're just wired differently. But here's Joe Lacob, who was also asked about what Draymond means to the organization. Take a listen.
He's been a spectacular player for us. We would not have these championships without his involvement. No question. I think everyone understands that in this room. He's meant a lot to this franchise. He's a bit of a controversial player, perhaps in some corners around the league and certain things that have happened over the years. And he knows that. We know that. But the good overwhelms the bad, is what I would say. He probably needs to improve, just like we all do, and get better at certain things. And we probably need, as Mike said, to improve as an organization in some ways, for sure. But he's meant a lot. And I think if he does come back, that he will be very important to our success, certainly going forward in the next few years.
It's the cadence with which Joe speaks that always gets me. Is it? Love me some Joey Lightyears, though. When he came to studio, was that 2 years ago now? Man, time flies. With Bonte and Shasky, got a chance to meet him. Very, very cool guy, interesting guy. Loves his first take. Loves his Stephen A. He was talking about it at the presser yesterday. He's like, I was watching this first take this morning. Actually, I was already awake when Mike called me. He loves his guy Stephen A. Those guys are tight. I need an exclusive sit down one-on-one with Stephen A. Smith and Joey Lightyears. I'll pay to see that. It'd be must-watch TV. 888-957-9570. Continue to take your calls and texts as it pertains to what you heard yesterday from Joe Lacob, Mike Dunleavy Jr., Draymond Green opting out of his contract. We'll take your calls on that. So we'll ask Joe Shasky coming up here on the crossover about that. Also, the Giants walk-off victory. 8 straight. 7-4 over the Padres yesterday. They're hot. They're just taking all the blue bloods in the NL down. The Cardinals, they're shot. Dodgers, they're reeling. They're just going for the kill shots early on in the season, and I appreciate it. You know what? Going into this stretch, starting with the Cardinals, who obviously are having a down year. We're not used to saying that. But going into that stretch, playing in St. Louis ain't easy. It's hot. It's humid. It's gross. Right? We don't like it. We don't like that color red out there. We don't like that damn dirty bird. Giants handled their business. And then going from there to LA and handling their business there and sweeping them for the first time in 10 plus years. And then coming back home where you've struggled all season, barely above 500, and having a comeback victory down 4-0. It's impressive, man. It's impressive. So I'll get Joe Shasky's thoughts on that, as well as fast food items that you want back on the menu. They removed them. You're mad about it. I want to hear about it. 888-957-9570. Crossover up next. The pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
That's Mike saying good morning. It's the best he can do right now. Yeah, not a cloud in the sky. What Mike could use is a fresh start. And Irish Spring Body Wash. The fresh scent of Irish Spring and those sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset Mike needs.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Now, back to the pregame show on 95.7 The Game.
Sloppy. We got developing news as Joe Shasky joins me here for the pregame show, the crossover as we dub it. I'm Joe Spadoni, and LeBron James and Draymond Green hanging out in France? It's over. He's gone. I don't know what to tell you, Joe. That's it. He opted out, and he's already hanging out with LeBron. Can't do that. Can't do it. Mike Dunleavy, he tried his best.
And he's wearing.
Do you make anything of that really, real quick? Do you make it him hanging out? They're best friends. What are we doing here?
It's the weirdest relationship.
Is it weird?
It's odd to me.
Okay.
It's just
they talked
odd.
about it. I think it was this guy, Mark Spears chronicled it. I think like a month ago or so.
The moment of your lowest point in your career is when you basically got enticed into going at it with LeBron, and then he politicked to have you thrown out. Like, that is the moment that everyone points to in your career. And now you just kisses at every single turn. I don't know. There's obviously layers and layers and layers to this.
I'm trying to find a comp to that, too. Like, who is that, like Isaiah Thomas, like, and Michael Jordan becoming best friends because
whatever happened to being like a beef? Like Jose Mesa. Everybody hated Jose Mesa because he blamed because Omar Vizquel blamed Jose Mesa for losing the World Series. And then every single time Omar Vizquel came up to bat, Jose Mesa would plunk him. I respect that.
Oh, the Kobe and Shaq beef. I love that.
Yeah,
and
I
that went on forever.
That,
that went on forever. Like after their playing days.
What can we just have beefs? Yeah. What's wrong with having a little beef?
Because we were raised in this generation, Joe Shasky, to be friends with everyone. And that's fine. I try to teach Benny to be friends with someone, but you know what? If there's a little kid that keeps messing with you, you know what? You got to check him once in a while, dude. Don't be a pushover.
But I think
check someone. All right. It's actually a very fine line now that I'm raising a kid. Like when to tell him to like push back and not get like stepped on all the time. So
you want to stand up for yourself.
You want to stand up for yourself, but you also don't want to be like that. Like I get it, all that stuff. So it's very tricky. So it starts from an early age, is what I'm saying.
But don't you also think it depends on the child? Like there's a fine line as you're talking about, and like there are some kids that kind of are bullies. Right? And so those are the ones that you have to really tamp down. And then there are others who are almost too nice.
You coach kids, so
and get pushed over.
Oh, yeah. So you can see it in the coaching realm. So there's a hierarchy with teammates and stuff like that. There's the kids up here, and then there are ones all the way there that want to just try to prove themselves. Right?
If you're an educator out there, or if you're setting curriculum out there, I implore you, you need to teach these children at a young age. There needs to be a class, and it needs to be like weeks, not days, a class on texting, emailing, cell phones, social media, the etiquette, the permanence of all the things that you do, whether you text somebody, you're bullying, you this, that. Like, I really honestly feel for parents of 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, all the way through. If you have kids that are about to be preteens and are going into their teenage years, it is almost impossible to try to reach them to understand anything you type into that phone could be permanent.
Oh, yeah. And I grew up with it. Like, I grew up in that generation when MySpace was happening, when Facebook, when we just started. Smartphone just started getting, I think the iPhone was invented my freshman year of high school. So, like, that's when it just started. You got Facebook, all that sort of stuff. But you're right. Like, that was, like, the beginning stages of it when my friends are getting popped online because teachers like, oh, dude, they found what you said on MySpace. They found what you said on Facebook. You like that. You got to delete that stuff. You can't be saying all that. Like, that's why everyone wants to go back to their old things because you said certain things that you can't say anymore. You got to scrub it in the past and stuff like that. So, absolutely. I think they have courses like that for college, but to your point, that's too late at that point. You need help. You need middle school, dude. So you need it in middle school to start. That's when I got my first phone. I was 6th grade.
I had to take a kid to the side the other day because him and this other guy, I guess, were texting, and then the parent screenshot it, or they got it screenshot, and they're going back. And I took him down the line, at baseball before the game, and I'm explaining to him like, hey, look, this is like literally what could happen to me in my profession. Like anything that you say to somebody can get screenshot, and now it gets passed around, and now that's who you are as a kid, and it sucks.
No,
it really, really sucks. And so my point being is, my God, please, if you're an educator out there, you're setting curriculum, we need to educate these kids. It can't just come from the parents. It's got to be reinforced at school.
Speaking of the kids are all right. The youth movement that's going on at Oracle Park. Joe Shasky, 8 wins in a row. Mike Yastrzemski, man, good on him. He's been struggling mightily the last few seasons.
Of course.
Like, it's been really hard for him and it's been hard to watch. It seems like his plate discipline the last few seasons, whatever happened, he came on so hot, so strong. But 2021, even in a great year for the Giants, wasn't a great year for him. 2022 wasn't a great year for anyone. But more than anything else, his swagger seems to be back. And when he pimped that walk-off home run last night, hold on, I need to play the call again. I haven't played it enough.
It's an all-time call.
Because Dwayne Kuiper, my God, shout out him. It's an all-timer. NBC Sports Bay Area. Give it to me, Dwayne.
High drive! Right field! It is out of here! And we are going home!
I love that. Him and Jokic.
The job is done. We can go home now.
There you go. If I needed someone to narrate my life, Joe Shasky, Dwayne Kuiper's in the top 5. Morgan Freeman probably too. Who else is in there? What voices can you think of?
Wow, that's a great question.
What voices do you want narrating your life?
Well, James Earl Jones.
Oh, that's Darth Vader. I find your lack of sports takes disturbing, Joe Shasky.
There's seminal voices. There's seminal voices that you hear, and I would put all of those on that short list. There's no doubt about it. Yep. It definitely wouldn't be Bob Costas, that's for damn sure.
Snoozer
Mr.
alert.
Pink Eye.
Mr. Pink Eye.
I can't stand that guy.
When was that? Like 2012 Olympics?
He will forever be Mr. Pink Eye to me.
Mr. Pink Eye.
Was
it Mr. Pink in what was it, Reservoir Dogs or whatever? There you go. Was that Steve Buscemi?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the NL West is a bloodbath. Everyone knows it. Like, wake up, America.
Oh, Tatis Machado. They had all the studs out yesterday.
Dude, yesterday, I'm looking at, and by the way, San Diego's not going to go away.
No.
Everybody thinks that they're just going to go away. They're not going to go away. It's an interesting question that you're bringing up right now. Like, I'm looking at the Xander Bogaerts. Like, already, you can look at the Xander Bogaerts contract like, that is going to look horrible in 5 years. Yeah. Horrible. He was, like, you talk to Boston Red Sox fans, good player, really good player. Not worth 10 years, $300 million. This is like where the market, similar to home prices, they got so inflated. You buy a home at, let's say $3 million, and then it goes underwater, just 4 or 5 years later because it's not worth $3 million. It was never worth $300 million. But because of the market going out of control and the supply and demand, you paid $3 million trying to get in there and overpay for an immediate need. And a couple years later, you can't even afford the place. And so, I don't know, man. The Xander Bogaerts deal does not look good. I'm telling you now, Juan Soto's turning it around, clearly. Obviously, he goes 2 Oppo Taco home runs yesterday. He has 44 opposite field home runs, 6 more than anyone else in baseball since 2018.
Look at that stat.
You like that, don't you?
I do.
MLB.com. And then, obviously, Manny Machado getting struck out in the 9th inning by Camilo Duvall. That was, man. To see Manny chase like that.
There's certain players you love to see striking out.
I like Manny, though.
I like Manny, too. But
I agree with you.
But he flails sometimes so hard. He was the final out in the World Series with the Dodgers, the Red Sox. Who was it?
Yeah.
Or Chris Sale, just a wicked slider. Wicked slider.
I can't
Chris
stand
Sale. Well, Chris Sale, by the way, speaking of a guy who never lived up back to that, guy just couldn't stay healthy. But Joe Shasky, this Giants team, man, it's starting to give 2021 vibes.
I'm fired up.
Like, there is not a greater compliment you could give to any sports team, especially in baseball, that this team's never out of it. And that's what we're starting to see in this streak. They've already matched last season's total comeback wins of 3 or more runs. So while trailing 3 or more, they've already won 6 times this year.
Wow.
That surpasses last year, actually. Shout out S. Langs on Sports, Sarah Langs. Always some great nuggets there, but that just goes to show that this team, the plate discipline, the swagger, the confidence, it's building every single day. And you know what? Dare I say, this team might be able to win the division. Might be able to on June 20th. I can't believe I'm saying that.
What's more exciting? Honestly, what's more exciting? A grinded out season? Like, for example, this year's Niner team, it feels like it's championship or bust.
Yeah.
And there's a part of it that makes it super exciting, and there's a part of it that makes it almost painful. Because the expectations are so high, and the only thing that can match the expectations are winning it all. So anything under that feels like a giant disappointment.
Well, let me just shift over to the Warriors. Was that torturous or what? That entire season, it felt
painful.
Like it was nails on a chalkboard, and the season didn't even start. And Jordan Poole got punched.
There is something refreshing, and I don't say it's better. It's just different. It's refreshing to have dude, we're playing with house money kind of a season.
Yes.
Right? And like a come out of nowhere season. And look, it's a long year. They could lose 10 in a row and they could totally bow out. But I think more than anything, it feels like this is the team that people are going to point to say, I fell back in love with the Giants. So 2021, they fell back in love with Posey and Belt and Crawford. I don't know how many of the other guys. And there's a new guy in Logan Webb who emerged. But a lot of this year with Patrick Bailey, Casey Schmidt drawing a walk. Throw a ticker tape parade.
I know.
And then, obviously, you've got Luis Matos, and he goes 0 for 4 last night, but it feels like they're building something. I think that's the big difference for me from 2021. There's carryover. So not only do you have Yaz doing his thing and Conforto doing it, but it feels like there are some pillars that you can build on. The foundation.
Absolutely. And you know what, man? They have some guys that I'm already locked into the future with. Estrada, he's a dude. That guy's an all-star, man.
He made a play going to his left.
I saw the little flick to
He just
Crawford.
never would make that play in his life.
It's amazing. Like, more than the bat, and you've been talking about this, the jump from defense from last year to this year, the fielding, it's unbelievable.
I know.
This guy looks like a Gold Glover. I've only seen that, and it was a steady progression. Marcus Semien, when he was across the bay with Ron, and that was one of the greatest third base. Ron Washington's one of the greatest fielding coaches there is in baseball, and he had to work season after season. This is just a year jump.
It's incredible.
Shout out Farhan and the Gabe Kapler, the staff that he's got.
He's the most
They got like
improved
50
player.
people on the staff, so thankfully one of them could do it.
Most improved player 2 years in a row, to me.
Yeah.
And that's
Do they
crazy.
even have that in baseball, most improved
No,
player?
they don't. But I'm talking about
I feel like they should, though. But anyway, every other
on the
sport
Giants.
does.
He went from being a nothing to, wow, he's pretty good. And then this year, okay, he's terrible at defense. Now he's elite. He's one of the top 2 guys in his position defensively. Real quick, I want to get on a soapbox. I know we're up against it. Brian Iglesias used to work at the station. He tweeted at Matt Nahigan about Juan Soto. Okay, we did this with Mike Trout. We do this with, we're seeing it with Shohei Ohtani. Dear God, people, stop giving someone who has 4 or 5 good years at the beginning of their career and jumping the gun and saying they're better than some of the all-time greats in a sport. So-and-so's better than Kobe. So-and-so's better than Shaq after 3 years or whatever. Right now, he goes, the modern Ted Williams, Juan Soto. Shut your mouth. Brian, I love you to death. I'm saying this with a twinkle in my eye. Juan Soto has batted under 300 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of his first 8 years. Ted Williams batted under 300 one time in 19 seasons, and that was when he was 40 years old. His career batting average, Ted Williams, 344. His career on-base percentage, 492, and he missed 3 years in his prime to go be a fighter pilot in World War II and be an American hero to beat the freaking the Germans. Don't ever compare anyone to the art of science of hitting Ted Williams. I'm sorry, I will not allow it.
Wow, can't believe Ted Williams quit on his team like that to serve some war. Come on, man.
It drives me insane, Joey.
It's something.
He's a great player, Juan Soto.
We have to do
He's
it.
great. Stop flying off the handles and calling him the modern Ted Williams. There is no modern Ted Williams. That's why he's Ted Williams.
You know what? Speaking of comparisons, the modern day Mike and the Mad Dog's coming up next. Morning Roast, Joe Shasky, Ponte Hill. Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco. An Odyssey station.
When back to the office means back in traffic.
Tracking the 3